Hello, good morning, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Ice Cream at Lords here on Friday, the 11th of June. My God, has it gone fast this year? Obviously, E3 is upon us. I don't know if anyone saw anything of E3 last night, but it seemed to be a good show. I didn't watch much of it myself. G says where? So, the chatbot's down, so I asked for another code. So you may get it at some point in the near future. But yeah, it was just for the chatbot code. Chatbot is down, it's not working, so the commands will not work for the time being until I can sort that out. But enough of that technical stuff. How are we all doing? It is Friday. It's a bit overcast in Manchester considering it's been glorious for the last 2 weeks, but it's meant to be 26 degrees on Sunday, which conveniently is the day where I'm going to be spending most of my time in this sweatbox as we gear up for the biggest day of E3 so far, where we go live at 6 p.m. Until about midnight, I think it is. Okay, we can get the chatbot working again. Oh, that's annoying. I seem to have lost the screen where you usually put it in. Okay, this is technical. If I do this again, I'm gonna have to put all this in. Oh my God. Okay, all right. Chatbot is down for today, ladies and gentlemen, because I need to type all of this stuff in again. I thought minimizing it would keep it there, but just in the background. But apparently not. So I'll tell you what, I will do this as we go along. So for you guys that are listening to some podcast services, nothing will be different. I'm just talking into the microphone. But those of you that are watching live on twitch.tv/screaming@lords will see me looking at my phone as I type in some stuff. Graham, you're going to have to send me the code again. I apologise. NX shouts, yo! Firefly says, obviously, the star of yesterday was Elden Ring. Absolutely, which is our main story of the day. We have got 4 news stories. Jordan, who's NX in the chat, submitted 2 Xbox articles. One of them was a word-for-word report of a interview between Phil Spencer and I cannot remember who it was with. Hey, Graham sent me the code. Here we go. Chatbot could be underway in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Connect. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are on the way. There we go. Boom. Chatbot is on. We are up and running. Thank you very much, G, for helping us with that. But yeah, Elden Ring was shown last night. It's a real thing. It looks like a Bibby game, that as you'd come to expect. If you've watched any of our streams over like the last 3 years, you will know that that game speaks to me on so many different levels. It's going to be an absolute monster of a game. That is our first news story of the day. We have got 3 other stories. We have got Free Game Friday. Don't worry about that. I know you guys are looking for Free Game Friday, and by God, this is probably the best one we've given away. Now, we've talked about, well, I say we have got no affiliation with Epic Games Store, but this is probably the biggest game, I think, on Free Game Friday that we have told you about. A GTA was obviously there, but it's like 8 years old at this point, so you would have got it elsewhere, but this one is an absolute banger. EA hackers have stole the FIFA 21 source code, so we're going to dig into that one. I mean, there's obvious jokes in there that it was just in the folder of FIFA 20 and FIFA 19, blah blah blah. There's some jokes in there, but we'll get to that. And then Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is Borderlands meets Dungeons and Dragons. So if there's a Mr. Tassim Manveer in the chat, obviously industry leaker, can't say him by his real name, but I don't think he's going to be able to give us anything, because that would be his job on the line. He can only talk about what's been released, which we wouldn't expect him to give us anything that he shouldn't be able to give us, because we wouldn't want him to get into any kind of trouble. But yeah, we've got some banging news stories today. As I said, there was 2 major Xbox announcements yesterday, but the reports was so long, I would genuinely be here for 2 hours reading them all out, which I think is obviously a very good thing, because it's a lot of good news coming from Xbox. However, I feel like that would be it would be better suited towards the conference on Sunday. So that's where Jordan will be joining us. I think it's Asim and I think it's Nico that will be joining us for that one. I will get up this schedule and I will post the schedule into the chat as we go along and we start to cover some of those stories, because obviously I want you to be involved with our E3 celebrations. We have got some of our friends involved. We'll be streaming on other people's channels, as well as other people will be streaming on our channels as well. It's just going to be a whole thing. This is what E3 is about. It's about staying up till stupid o'clock in the fucking morning to talk about video games with you guys, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to try and find the asset, because I can't remember everything that was listed, because there is a lot. I think there's 12 shows that we're going to be covering between tonight and Wednesday, I think it is. So let me just grab the asset. I will put it in the chat for you. This asset is old to a degree, because Mr. Winstano, Ben Ward, will be joining us tonight alongside me and Asim. So I'm just going to drop that in the chat for you now. Boop. Now, I'm going to start the show with a little disclaimer. I didn't watch all of E3 last night. I only caught the very last bits of it because me and the wife was watching Loki. And I will be spending a lot of time away. So last night was reserved for her. And obviously early on in the afternoon as well. Because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be sat in this sweatbox for the next couple of days, as well as the Euros are on and stuff like that. So we watched a little bit. We watched the first episode of Loki last night, so I didn't catch all of it. So we are going to be going through some. Well, I didn't pull out all of the E3 stuff, because again, this show is only an hour long, and with me only doing it on my own today, I didn't feel it was right to have a full E3 breakdown just for me to talk about it, because there's no one else to talk to it about. So I pulled out a couple of stories. As I said, Elden Ring's in there. We've got the Wonderland trailer we're going to go through and things like that. Just the stuff that you come to expect from this show. As I said, it won't be a deep dive breakdown. That will probably come tonight during our E3 coverage. Like I said, it starts at 8 o'clock, the Koch prime time. There's going to be a countdown timer in there somewhere. So our stream will probably go live between 7:30 and 7:45 tonight, as we look to gear towards our first E3 conference of the year. And it goes right the way through to Tuesday. There is a conference on Wednesday as well, but I don't know if we're going to be covering it. But it will be live tonight at 7:45 at the very latest over on twitch.tv/screen uploads, right where you're watching this now. But our entire schedule is in the chat now. I will put this in the video description as well, so if you are watching this on demand, you'll be able to pick that up and you'll be able to find out where you can find our content, who we're going to be streaming with, and where else we're going to be streaming on, because as I said, we have got my channel, my fucking channel, fuck you Graham, we've got the Ice Cream Uploads channel, we've got Asim Tanvir's channel, we've got Shogun Ash Live's channel, as well as Let's Play Nico's channel as well. So there's going to be 4 different places that you're going to be able to catch all of the E3 coverage this year. Okay, so Tino says see you at 10 p.m. We'll go live just after the conference is finished. That's about right. Gary Clark says, all right, Bib. All right, Shagger, how's it going? Jordan says head of Microsoft. That's in regards to the article that I was talking about earlier. Gargad says good morning, Bib. Good morning to you. And Jordan says not my channel. I mean, I don't even think you stream on your own channel at this moment in time. I can't remember the last time I saw you live. But anyway, let's move on. I mean, you're already on the one show, aren't you? The Xbox and Bethesda one, which is going to be the meatiest show, I think, out of them all. That Sunday is going to be manic. 6 p.m. start is when the shows first start. And the Warner Brothers game show, I don't think has been given a time yet, or we haven't put it into the asset. This probably will get revised, because the Take-Two conference hasn't been, I don't think the time's been announced yet. So we will get a revised asset as and when. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I will go through the normal spiel that Graham usually goes through, just for you guys on demand and for you guys that are in the chat as well. You all know the show by now. But welcome everyone. We are Ice Cream Uploads. This is A Scoop. It's the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. And we're bringing you the daily dose of video game news from around the world. My name is Peppiatt. I'm not joined by Graham Day today. He's currently ripping apart his studio. If you haven't seen it on Twitter already, he has put some shelves up. He's been plastering walls. He's been taking apart desks. He's been selling desks. He's been putting stuff together. Even if I wanted something from me, he will not be able to give it because his PC isn't even set up. But anyway, it's important that we give you our thoughts and impressions on the breaking stories, as we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. And you can share those live with us on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads each and every weekday. And this is the best bit, at 10 a.m. ish. It's 11:30. I mean, we've been live for 20 minutes, so it's 10 past 11 when we went live today. Work stuff comes first. Always put your work first, otherwise you won't have a job. It's important that you do that as we turn this live show into an on-demand video podcast, and it goes out on the ICU YouTube around an hour or so after we go off air. Then a little later on in the day, the audio versions of the podcast are available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. All on-demand listeners get to pause, rewind, and fast forward, but they don't get to add to the on-air conversation. So if you are watching this on Twitch, please make sure that you say hello in the chat, very much like you shaggers have already done in the chat this morning. I very much appreciate that. So before we jump into the news, we have a few talking points. I have already gone through those. Again, you can find our refree coverage either in the chat, in the on-demand service description. 7:45 BST is when we will be going live tonight at the very latest for the Koch show. We don't know how long it's going to be because half of the games that we thought we were going to be seeing, they've already announced that isn't going to be shown. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to be showing tonight. And we are joined by Mr. Asim Tanvir and Ben. I want to say Winstano, but it's not. It's Ben Ward. Every single time I want to say Winston, but it's not. It's Ben Ward, Winstano, the chief in editor of Next Gen Base. And obviously Asim was former Next Gen Base as well, but he is now at 2K. So thank you very much to those guys that will be joining us tonight. But yeah, I imagine we're going to get through to the first story. I'm just going to go through the chat quickly before we move on because this chat will fly, I can tell. Eric says, literally at a pub 12, England match at 3, then the Xbox conference, busy day. Exactly. I've got a golf tournament in the morning, then England's on, and then we jump straight into the conference afterwards. So Sunday is going to be chaos. But it's one day a year, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure we can all survive from that. Tino says, Enix is such an Xbox fanboy. I want to see him on the Sony stream. I think he'd burst into flames. Jordan says, no, Tito, you watched me and Graham. Firefly Mania says, PlayStation has a new game studio. And Asim says, that pretty face I'll be seeing later on this evening. Absolutely, exactly. I've already got the slate set because usually Graham would be hosting it from his. But he hasn't got a set-up PC at the moment, so it's all running from mine. So I've tried to make it look as pretty as what Graham can do. The technical ability probably isn't going to be as advanced as his. He has virtual audio cables and all this other slidey shit that I have no idea about. As long as it works, I don't care how it looks. But yeah, we should be good to go. But anyway, let's jump into the first article. It is only me waffling on my own today. So I think we're going to get through this pretty much thick and fast. But let's start off with our first news article of the day. It's probably the biggest story that we've seen over the last couple of months. And it is that Elden Ring... Oh, let me just move that over a little bit because it doesn't look quite center. I mean, it probably would have been fine. But for those that have got OCD, we'll move into the centre. So, Elden Ring has finally reappeared with a new trailer and a 2022 release date. This has been written by Andy Robertson over at VGC. I'm just going to take a quick drink of this. Wet the old whistle. From Software shows the first footage in 2 years at the Summer's Games Fest. From Software has premiered the first Elden Ring footage since it's announced 2 years ago. The trailer debuted during Summer Games Fest kickoff show, where it's confirmed the title will release on January 21st, 2022. Are we going to do a sweepstakes to see if it's going to be delayed? Because I think it might do. But it'll be available for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, and PC. The game supports from Smart Delivery on Xbox consoles, as well as a free upgrade to PlayStation 5 for PlayStationers who purchased the PlayStation 4 version. From Software also confirmed that Elden Ring will feature online multiplayer for up to 4 players. Fantastic. That doesn't say that in the chat, by the way. The video represents the first significant update on Elden Ring since it was announced in June 2019, and for the first time, anyone has seen gameplay outside of its publisher or developer. I'm just going to play.
Stay frosty, yeah.
There we go. Did anyone hear that?
Longer streak than Bibby's pants watching the Champions League final.
Oh my god.
Stay frosty, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So Jordan and Shogun Ash with their subscriptions are resubscribed. Absolute shaggers. Thank you very much for that. It's Shogun with the 15 months and Jordan with the 14 months. Thank you so much. Hopefully you would have heard that because a lot of people was complaining last time that they couldn't hear any of the followers or subscribes. So yeah, thank God it worked this time because I've been trying to sort that out. But anyway, back to the article. I'm going to hit play on this and then mute it because we will probably get copywritten. But Elden Ring is a fantasy action RPG described as from Software's largest game to date. The game takes place in a world created in collaboration with A Song of Ice and Fire author George R.R. Martin, who tasked with creating the Elden Ring's lore rather than working on its story. With Elden Ring Ring, we have applied all of our dark fantasy and RPG expertise cultivated through the Dark Souls series in order to create a bold, classical evolution of the genre, said oh my God. This is why I shouldn't be reading, because the names always throw me. Hidetaka Miyazaki. I'm so sorry I butchered that. In a prepared statement, we've crafted a rich world and a staggering sense of scale based off of legends written for the game by George R.R. Martin. Elden Ring is a wonderful world of mystery and peril, ready to be explored and discovered. A drama which various characters flaunt their own mystique and ulterior motives. We sincerely hope that you will experience it for yourself. Yasu, we'll just go with that. Yasu, president and CEO of Bandai Namco, added, we will continue to develop Elden Ring not only as a game but into a variety of other areas in order to deliver a worldview and charm of this title to our fans around the world. We look forward to your continued support. In a press release published on Thursday, Bandai Namco said that the game would feature a vast and seamless landscape, natural weather and time of the day progression. It added players will become fully immersed within the world of Elden Ring as it begin their journey and their choice of through their own path. Traverse on foot or horseback, alone or online with friends across grassy plains, suffocating swamps and lush forests. Ascend spiral mountains, enter breathtaking castles and witness other sights of grandeur on a scale never seen before from a software title. Elden Ring's role-playing and customization options will allow players to define their own unique playstyle. Experimentation is encouraged with a wide variety of weapons, magical abilities and skills found throughout the world, inciting players to follow previously unexplored progression paths. Do we need to read the rest of it? Yeah, we will do. Director Hidetaka Miyazaki, again, so bad, has said Elden Ring represents an evolution of the Dark Souls series he created, while Dark Souls' spiritual successor Bloodborne and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice brought new ideas to the table. Miyazaki said From Software's upcoming game goes much further. I think we'll have to leave it there because the rest of it is just talking about where the game first premiered and blah, 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 blah. We don't need to know, but I'm going to leave the trailer on the screen as we go through because this, my God, looks breathtakingly amazing. I mean, it's only on for like another second anyway. But anyone who's even got any kind of interest in a kind of fantasy action RPG kind of game, this will speak to you on a much deeper level. This game looks fantastic graphically, obviously visually, the way the mechanics move, the way that the way that the whole environment looks. It looks gritty, it looks gothic, it looks incredible, medieval. You can put all of the words towards it, but this looks amazing. I imagine this is going to be super difficult. Like, I can't see this being a walk in the park. I think this probably will be one of the hardest games. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's going to be a Returnal style, but I do think it's going to have a lot of elements that you think, Jesus Christ, okay, I'll need to check out the boss patterns. Very Dark Souls-y, do you know what I mean? So you need to work out the patterns. You're probably going to die a lot. But you get to play it the way that you want. You get to choose your own path, shall we say, as it states in here many, many times. But we'll bring these chops back on screen. Hey. How's it going? So yeah, this looks unbelievable. I don't think there's anything else we can say about it really. I mean, it looks the best. It's probably, I don't want to say going to look, because I imagine if they do a remaster of this, maybe in 5 years' time towards the back end of the PlayStation 5, I imagine it's going to look even better. But my God, does this game look incredible? I mean, I'm hyping it up to the absolute max. So prepare to be disappointed, but those people who like these kind of games, I think there'll be a lot in here for us. So I'm just going to bring the chat back up on screen as well, because I imagine there's going to be a lot to be said in here. Asim says, this looks shit up. We brought it and would have bought it and never finished, but if constant 4-player multiplayer co-op might be a 3-player people dragging me through. I think that's the best part about it. Like, playing games with your friends nowadays is fantastic, and especially in single player games, because usually a multiplayer element would be put in games that don't particularly have a story driven narrative. It's usually like a multiplayer game, whether it would be a first person shooter or capture the flag or just something as tedious and that's been done before. But having a storyline driven game, that's why I was looking forward to Dungeons and Dragons, the Dark Alliance. I was looking for Dark Alliance. I'm looking forward to that purely because it's going to have a storyline. You get to play it with your friends. Like having the single player boom has come back, which I'm super glad about, and we've mentioned it here a ton of times. The single player boom has come back now, and we are starting to get games that are worthy of being bigger than probably there should be, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. Having a single player game is fantastic. If you shove a multiplayer or co-op version in there just for the sake of it, it can ruin the game more often than not. But if you build the game from the ground up so that you can play it as a single player, but if you want to bring your friends along with you, and it's just as good as it was in a single player, that is very hard to be able to capture and deliver on. And games, more often than not now, are starting to deliver on that. And this, hopefully now, will be another one of those games. I can see this being like a 40-hour game. And if you get to go out with your friends, then that's absolutely fantastic. I don't think it's going to be one of those where you end up buying it and you can share it with your friends by inviting them. Like it, I don't know if it does it with It Takes Two, but it definitely did it with A Way Out. But either way, the way that we're looking at this now, having a game like this and being able to play with a friend, fantastic. Shogun says, love a bit of text-to-speech. And Jordan says, there we go, my first badge back. And so, yeah, Dark Souls 4, pretty much. That's what it feels like. Firefly says, pre-order and play as Jon Snow. Gary says, I think I'm the only one in the world that isn't interested in Elden Ring, just not my kind of game. Mate, there's loads of games out there that a lot of people get hype about. And I'm just like, what? It looks like a bag of shit. Like, maybe not a bag of shit, but definitely not something that I would even contemplate playing. But this is fixed in a world that I always end up enjoying in video games. I mean, they've been done to death. So From Software are saying it's going to be something that we haven't seen before, which is fantastic because a lot of these games tend to be the same. Same formula, same kind of narrative, just in a different setting. So hopefully we're good. Jordan says, I love Dark Souls, but was underwhelmed by it. Asim says, it'll be harder than Wedding 90. I can't believe I've just said that out loud. I should have read that first. Jesus Christ. You caught me off guard with that. I'm not going to lie. And I think it's caught Shogun off as well because it really gives the LMAOs and Jesus Christ. Gary says Dark Souls isn't for me either. You can see a trend here. So yeah, I mean, I'd say the majority of people are super excited for this, but I imagine this kind of people who are super excited about this have that kind of genre at heart, and it's not. I think you'll be hard pushed to try and find someone who hasn't potentially played these kind of games before jumping at the thought of playing a game like this. Like, as soon as you find out that it's I don't want to say a Dark Souls type game. I mean, the combat looks quite similar, obviously, but we don't know much about it just yet. We haven't seen much. I mean, the gameplay reveal, it's shown very minimal amounts of it. We haven't seen anyone running through it yet to be able to find out how it's going to play and how difficult it's going to be. But as soon as you mention the likes of Dark Souls, people just get automatically turned off because they think I'm not fucking sitting through that game where I die 60,000 times at a certain boss to learn its patterns. Like, it'll just put people off. So I think this will speak to a lot of people who are fixated on that genre. And then I think they're pulling the name of like George R.R. Martin. I think that will bring people in as well who does enjoy his work. So yeah, I think this is going to be. I can't see this coming out in January. I genuinely can't see this coming out in January. I think this game is already going to get delayed. I'm looking maybe April, May next year. I just think it's too soon. I know we haven't seen anything for 2 years, which is a long time, but I just can't see it. I'm happy to be proven wrong because I'm picking this up regardless. But I don't know. I mean, if I was to do a sweepstake on it, I imagine it's you can pick any other month of the year, and it will be that. I can't see it being January though. Firefly says thoughts on Loki. I enjoyed it. It was it's different. I'll give you that. I mean, I am not the most. I mean, you probably know this already. I'm not the most intelligent person when it comes to watching stuff. I watch stuff for the sake of watching stuff. I don't always dip into the lore and everything else that goes on in the background. Like, my wife is obsessed with the MCU, so she's explaining stuff to me because there would have been films I would have watched once, maybe twice in the MCU, so I don't know the entire timelines and stuff. I like to just watch stuff for the sake of watching it and go, that's pretty good. I enjoyed Loki. I imagine most people probably would have done as well, but I imagine it probably would have pissed people off at the same time because it didn't hit what they wanted it to. But for the sake of watching it, I enjoyed it. So don't take my word for it because I'm not a hardcore MCUer. Only 6 episodes long. That's typical. I mean, Captain America and the Winter Soldier was 6 episodes long, and I thought that was great as well. I thought that was good. But yeah, Asim says Bloodborne was my favourite of these type of games. Hard but doable. The rest like Dark Souls, Demon Souls. To get to the 4th or 5th boss, keep dying, then give up. As I said, the 4-player side had me interested. Playing with other folks would be cool. I'm gonna throw this out there again because I already know there's some people in the chat that already wanted to play this with me. But that is why I'm interested. Again, I apologise, I just burped. Dark Alliance, Dungeons and Dragons. I want to play that game. I think it'll be fantastic to play with 3 or 4 of us. That's why I want to be able to play it because I know I'm not the best at games, which is why I play a lot of single player games. But having fun with friends is why I play them in the first place. So having 3 or 4 of us that might be a bit decent at the game might be able to pull the rest of the shit guys through. But I hope that's with the same as this. So you might be able to distract the monsters while someone else comes in that may be able to do more damage. Yeah, it's just things like that to be able to think outside the box and work as a team. That's what I enjoy in video games. Tino says, can't believe Loki dies in the first episode. I know it's bad, mate. I mean, what are we going to do for the rest of the 5 episodes? Bad. That Superman cameo was odd. Well, there was something else that I thought in there as well. The Superman cameo. I don't remember seeing that. I don't fucking know. I said I don't pay that much attention. I just watch it for the sake of watching it. Tito says, I'm all over D&D Dark Alliance. It's going to be on Game Pass day 1. Technically, he did die in the first episode, though. I tell you, oh no, I can't tell you. I was going to tell you what my favourite bit was, but it'll be a spoiler, so I can't. Maybe next week I'll be able to tell you. No spoilers, exactly. I'm all over Dark Alliance. It's on Games Pass day 1. Yes, I know. That's why I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'll be playing it on probably my PC. I may even install it on my Xbox and then bring it. That's downstairs in the front room. That's like I'm cooking tea. I'm going to need to play on something console. So, I mean, I'm still playing through Doom Eternal on that. And that's been out for, nearly a year now. Looking forward to the Eternal, says Firefly Media. Anyway, I'm not going to mention anything else about it now because I know people haven't watched it. So, yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Here's another game for you. Asim Tanvir will probably disappear now. And we're probably going to get Tassim Anvir. He will not be able to comment, so please, no one in the chat try and bait him out of something because, I mean, Asim's, I say he's not daft. He's not daft. Debatable, but he's not going to comment on it anyway, so please don't anyone bait him out for this one. But this is our next news article of the day. Let me try and flick through the screens. Scoops News. There we go. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is Borderlands meets Dungeons and Dragons, written by Wesley Yin-Poole over at Eurogamer. Gearbox has announced Borderlands fantasy spin-off Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's due out early 2020 on the Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC, via Steam, and the Epic Games Store. 2K is publishing. The trailer is below. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands revolt. Let me just press play on the trailer for you guys. Again, no sound. I apologise. It is what it is. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands revolves around Tiny Tina, the popular Borderlands character voiced by Ashley. I'm just going to stop there, right? I hate it when they reference the character, the people who portrays them names to things that they've been in. I don't know if that grates anybody else, but it genuinely grates me because some of the stuff that they reference to isn't the stuff that you'd probably put towards them or attach them to. But anyway, it's voiced by Ashley Burks, also stars Headstrong Captain Valentine, played by Andy Samberg. I fucking love Andy Samberg. That isn't written in the article. A rural-obsessed Obot, Fret, played by Wanda Sykes, and the Dragon Lord, played by Will Arnett. Arrested Development, like, do you know what I mean? Why that of all things? I know he's super popular in that, but it would have been the first thing that I put. Anyway, Lego Batman to me. In the game, Tiny Tina serves as playing guides. In the game, Tiny Tina serves as a player's guide through a fantasy tabletop realm. Players are on a quest to defeat the Dragon Lord, and along the way, meet characters such as a loot welding barbarian and their very own fairy punch father. You get to create and customize a multi-class hero and loot, shoot, slash, cast while defeating monsters and exploring treasure-filled dungeons. It's like Borderlands, except with magic and swords. Thank fuck for that. Tiny Tina makes the rules and changes the world on the fly. There's a co-op for up to 4 players, a story-driven campaign, and repeatable endgame content, Gearbox said. Whoop. Fucking whoop. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to run the trailer back again, so we can watch this as I talk about it. Look at this shit. We talked about the fantasy RPG stuff in the Elden Ring. This again speaks to me on so many levels. If you didn't say what this game was and you just show them the trailer to me or anyone who knows me, instantly people are going to say, "This is a Bibby game. This is a Bibby game. This is a Bibby game." And the fact that it's part of the Borderlands world and everything else that goes along with it, the art style, everything. Who's playing this with us? Who's playing this? Who are we joining? This is a 4-player game. This is what we've just been talking about. This is where the ice cream community comes to life. This is where Asim's definitely playing it. Gary, I don't know. Is he a Borderlands guy? I don't know. I can already say Tito's going to be playing this. This looks mega. I mean, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, right? Genuinely, I've never played the tabletop version. I've played many different variants of it and the spin-off games that kind of come with it, but I've never played the tabletop version of the game. I've always wanted to, but I've just never found anyone nerdy enough to be able to play with me, and I don't really want to go to the places like Fanboy 3 in Manchester and stuff. But this looks mint. This looks mint. Let me have a look through the chat because the rest of you guys, the chat's flying. Asim says they're trolling. Looking forward to return over. Asim says, me daft, always. Firefly says, new Ratchet and Clank out today. Yes, I really want it. It's nearly 70 quid. Can't quite afford it yet, so I'll have to wait for payday. Tito says, I was going to say, giving you far too much credit there. Asim Tanvir. Tito, Asim with a crying emoji face to Tito. Can't wait to play this with some of you lads. So much fun. Exactly, this is what we're talking about. Wonderlands looks class after playing all the Borderlands with Asim recently. So hyped for this. So we've got 3 players right there. Firefly says, she voices Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn as well. Tito says, fantasy normally isn't my jam, but I'll give it a go. Prefer sci-fi usually. And he says, fanboy free where your nose gets... Exactly. I didn't want to say it because it's not a very nice thing to say, but it does stink. That's horrible. It's like going into CEX. Like, you know what? You know the smell. You know the smell. Like, it just seems to be the great unwashed that seems to go into these places, which they are genuinely nice, really nice people in there, but there's only so much of it you can take. But yeah, I really want to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I think that may be the only might be the only type of place that I'll be able to go and play it. There is a lot of other places around everywhere else in the world, especially in the UK, that you can go to be able to play tabletop games with other people. But it's it's usually the great unwashed, which is unfortunate. And that again, I don't want to insult everyone with it. It's just put some deodorant on, mate. But away from the Dungeons and Dragons and smelly people, this looks amazing. I cannot wait to be able to get my hands on it. If I do not get this game for free, Asim, I will be absolutely mortified and I will never speak to you again. In brackets, smiley face. I was only joking. Close brackets. Mate did an esports event there and I had to sponsors leave because the BO smell literally hurt my nose. Gary Clark says CX smells like a cross between dead homeless people and a sports gym. Yeah, you just have instant connotations of places like that, don't you? Which is unfortunate again because they tend to be very good places. Asim says, I'm sure we can sort something out for ICUC. This is why we love him. This is why we love him. Free games all around. Free games. And Tino says, basically, Asim, you owe us all a free copy. I mean, to be fair, I've messaged Stepbro this morning. I mean, the game has only just come out today, and he won the draw on Tuesday, so I've messaged him. The game is now out, so we can gift it to him. But yeah, he will be able to claim his prize. But maybe this is it. Maybe when this game comes out and all the other ones, we may be able to try and do more giveaways for it and things like that. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, the PGA one was a massive one. You got 60,000 people watching me tee off, wearing all golf gear, playing my shots with my clubs behind me and stuff. Yeah, we've got a form for promoting a game very, very well. Do you know what I mean? Do you know? Firefly said, oh, sorry, Dave's here as well. I hope you're on about the people who go to CES because me and Graham have a cousin who works there. Yes, we do. Yes, I am. I'm not your cousin. Firefly Media says, hopefully see some Gotham Knights this E3. It's already stated that we're not. It's already stated that we're not going to be seeing anything from it, which hurts. Because I genuinely thought we would do, because there's no Suicide Squad, there's no Gotham Knights, and what was the other one? Oh, Harry Potter, we're not seeing that either. Damn. Gary Clark says, haha, Tito says, as a mod, surely I'm classed as an employee of ICU. That's a very good point. Asim says, I'm Step Bro. Truth. Oh. No, I've already been speaking to Step Bro, and I know it's not you. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen 2 mega games there from that got shown at E3 yesterday. That is our Summer Games Fest game coverage done for the day. As I said, we were going live tonight for that. We've got 2 more stories, don't worry about that. But I didn't think it was appropriate for me to go through the entire E3 breakdown on my own because it would have been fucking boring. And I'd have bored myself, and you guys have to listen to me. So I've just picked out 2 of the games that I'm super looking forward to, games that I think you guys would be super looking forward to as well. I said I could have been here forever just picking out another 50 different types of games. But we only have an hour show, and it's only me talking today. So I feel like that was appropriate. Those 2 games were appropriate enough for us to be able to show and get you guys hyped at the same time as well as we were. But anyway, speaking of the hype, let's move on to our next story. This one is an interesting one. I haven't read it fully. I've seen it was a bit of a shit show on Twitter yesterday, and people laughing and pointing fingers and having a good old crack about it. But does this open up a can of worms? Let's find out. Written by Don Peppiatt over on VG 24/7. EA hackers have stolen FIFA 21 source code, Frostbite Engine source code, and more. Hackers have reportedly broken into EA servers and what the fuck does that say? Pilfered? I have no idea. And stolen 780 gigabytes worth of data, including a source code for FIFA 21 and the Frostbite's game engine. Electronic Arts have confirmed that hackers have bypassed its servers and managed to take a wealth of the firm's private data, including a code for Battlefield 21 and EA's proprietary Frostbite Engine, which announced a game Battlefield 2042 is being developed in. Originally reported by Motherboard, the hackers have raided the servers and managed to pick up a selection of SDKs, that's software development kits, for FIFA 21, 22, many other proprietary games of EA in the frameworks. As per Motherboard, the hackers have posted the haul for sale in various underground hacking forum posts. We are investigating a recent incident of intrusion into our network where a limited amount of game source codes and related tools were stolen, an EA spokesperson told the site. No player data was accessed, and we have no reason to believe that there is any risk to any player's privacy. Following the incident, we've already made security improvements and do not expect any impact on our games or our business. It appears at the time of writing that the hackers have no intention of releasing the stolen data publicly. Instead, the hackers seem to be gearing up to sell the data to the highest bidder. A says it is what? A says it is working. That makes no sense. A says it's working with the law enforcement and other experts. They're missing the E. They're missing the E at the beginning. EA says that it's working with law enforcement and other experts to track down the proprietary the perpetrators, and is treating the breach of a criminal investigation. Oh my god! I felt like I was Jimmy off South Park then. This is the first time this year we've seen a huge data breach of this nature. Back in February, Cyberpunk 27 dev kits. We don't need to go through that, but basically Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red had a massive cyber attack, blah 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 blah. So, ladies and gentlemen, they don't want to release this to the public, but they're going to sell it to the highest bidder. Do you think that what they've got is lucrative? Do you think everything I know they've got the source code, that's obviously lucrative. Do they have all the assets? Do they have everything else that goes along with it? I'm not a game dev, so the source code could be very ambiguous to me. I imagine it's just like the C++ stuff, like the hard coding stuff. That's the source file to me, and the programming side of it. Do you think that they've got stuff that will expose EA to a certain degree in various games? Like, do you think it will have scripting and other things in there that people potentially may be able to try and uncover? Do you think that they've mined this down to the very core of these games, and they will be able to reverse engineer some of the stuff to be able to create a spin-off game of the same ilk? Like, instead of FIFA, it'll be something completely different, but it will play better than FIFA. I don't know. It's very... We will never. I don't think that they know. I think the hackers have just gone in and just scraped whatever it is that they could as fast as they could. I don't think they realise what they've got. And I think that they're hoping that when they sell it to someone who potentially does, they'll be able to try and uncover something from it. I think it's just basically looting. They've just gone in, looted the shit, and ran off with it. I think that was their intention. They probably don't even know what it is that they've got. So when they say source code, is that something completely different to someone who actually knows what it is, what they've got? I don't know. This could be huge. We will never know because it depends who buys it and what they want to do with it. But it's not good from EA's side. I hate the fact that when there's always something that goes down, they said that they've made changes to their security. Why does it have to get that bad? Why does someone have to go in and maybe hold them ransom for it to be able to try and get money and then they won't release it? Why does it have to get so bad? Why can't they try and... I mean, it's obvious. It's the same as when someone gets robbed. Why would you put an alarm in after you've been robbed? It makes no sense. I put it in before, and it may stop you from happening. But these people are so clever, and they'll try and find back entrances, and they'll try and find different ways around not going through the front door and getting detected, you know what I mean? So I think the people who've gone in and just looted it, like nearly 800 gigabytes worth of data, they've just gone in and looted this shit. They probably don't even know what it is that they've got. They just see the names of the files and go, okay, this is it. This is what we've got. Maybe a screenshot. They'll post that to wherever it'll be, and then they'll be able to go and someone will be able to try and bid on it. We don't know how much this stuff's worth, but I'm very interested to see if it gets made public, what people find out about it. Because I have no idea. When it comes to developing and programming and stuff like that, my brain just goes... Like, I know how to code HTML, like building websites and stuff, to a degree, but program a video game, nah. You give me the source code and it'd take me 14 years to work out what it is. Like, there isn't enough crash courses in the world that, again, bring me on to date about what it is that people have managed to rob. But anyway... Firefly Media says Evil Dead looks good, even though I've never seen the Evil Dead. I played one of the Evil Dead games. It was on PS1 and it was shit. I can't remember what it was called. Not Evil Dead. Was it the Evil Dead? Evil Dead, PlayStation 1. Evil Dead, PS1. Evil Dead, Hail to the King. That was it. Yeah, played that. Shit, don't bother. Enix says, how a hacker is going to sell a source code for a 5-year-old game Kappa? Maybe they can make a good game Kappa, says Tito. Enix says, or should I say 5-year-old code Kappa? Firefly says, surprised they got the correct FIFA as all of them see the same, missing the Kappa. Tito says, depends if they can find any evidence of nefarious mechanic. Guys, you know, I got a C in GCSE English, you know what I mean? My reading is terrible. Depends if they can find an evidence of nefarious machinations with the long rumored scripting and dynamic difficulties. Tito also says, get out my head. Firefly Media says, could sell the casinos for the amount of microtransactions in FIFA, missing the Kappa. Tito says they could theoretically blackmail EA if they wanted to, but also surely they could engineer exploits to put possibly with the foot rewards. That's the thing. Do you remember it was about 3 months ago? Someone managed to get into the back end of the Foot Companion, the web app, and they managed to go into the dev side of it where it had all the functions, it had all the pack look percentages all there, and there was buttons that didn't work, but there were buttons there to be able to gift packs and increase your pack look. Is this stuff that's actually written into the source code? Because the person who did it, you could probably find it on YouTube, but the person who did it couldn't gift themselves packs, or they couldn't increase the pack look percentage, but the options was there. It doesn't matter if they clicked it, it just didn't do anything. So that stuff clearly is in there somewhere. It's just about making it work. Now, all of that stuff that's in the source code, again, it's all about trying to make it work, if it's even there. This is all rumor and speculation. There's been speculation about this stuff since the dawn of time, since since any of the video games first started coding. There has always been little loopholes. All of this is hearsay. We don't know. We genuinely don't know. So I'm interested to see how all of this works, if it ever comes out. And it says, how else are you going to test it unless EA make their employees pay for microtransactions to test? He put the Kappa in there. But yeah, this is a long-standing thing. I'm interested to see how this comes about, because I genuinely don't think the hackers know what it is that they've got. I just think they're very, very good at breaking firewalls and all the other security protocols that are put in place for this to not happen, and they've just scraped it. and then they're going to try and sell it to someone who potentially knows what it is. So they could be doing themselves out some money if they don't know what it is that they've got. And I mean, I am underestimating what it is that they know, but looters might not necessarily know what it is that they have got. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. But I suppose we'll find out. I mean, as I said, the foot companion stuff died off really, really quick. Really, really quick. Considering that it was all over Reddit, it was all over Twitter, it was all over. People was making videos about it left, right, and center. No one even mentions it now. So I'm interested to see how this comes about later on, probably in the year when it eventually gets sold, and for how much. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our last story of the day. And if Graham was there, he would be saying, Bib. This is what he does. He goes, get into grey mode. Bib. Oh, I need to put my PUBG hat on for it. Bib. There is a segment on Friday that we like to do. We like to give something away. I say we, including Epic Game Store. What is this segment called? And then I would go, Graham. Segment's called Free Game Friday. That is it, right, ladies and gentlemen. It is our Free Game Friday segment where you like to scrape the internet to try and find you a game that you potentially may be able to enjoy, or, I mean, this is out right now anyway, or marquee calendars, so you'll be able to find out what it is. It usually is from the Epic Game Store because it's accessible to a lot of people, and Epic Game Store is fantastic. I mean, I wish they would sponsor this because we would be swimming in money. All of this stuff here, all this stuff around me, all the floor that you can see, you wouldn't be seeing it. You'd just be seeing cash. You'd be seeing £50 notes blowing all over the place. If they sponsor us, but they don't. So maybe at some point. But anyway, this is an absolute banger of a game. If you haven't already played it, this might be the first chance to be able to do so. Written over at VG247 by Stephany Nunneley. I can never pronounce that, so I apologise, Steph. The latest freebie from the Epic Game Store is now live, and it's Remedy's Control. Multi-award-winning Control is free right now on the Epic Game Store until June 17th. So you have until Thursday. This coming Thursday to be able to go into Epic Game Store and download it. This is just the standard edition of the game, not the ultimate edition. In the supernatural third-person action-adventure game, you play as Jesse, who is trying to navigate an ever-changing world full of strange and unexplained events caused by an otherworldly threat. Otherworldly, that's an interesting one. Don't think I've ever heard that before. In the game, you will see a combination of supernatural abilities, modifiable loadouts, and reactive environments in your quest to take the invading enemy. Here's a recap of the story. I'm not going to read that to you because it probably would be a spoiler. So if you are listening to this on, a podcast service, that's fantastic. You probably know what Control is by now. If I read the story, I don't know. I haven't read it, so it could be spoilery. All I know, and all that you need to know, is if you go over to the Epic Game Store right now, you'll be able to pick up your free copy of Control. That's all there is to it. That's all you need to know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for today's episode of The Scoop. This is it for this week's episode of The Scoop. Again, I cannot say it enough. I'm going to find the tweet. I'm going to post it back in the chat for you guys. We will be live tonight at the very latest 7:45 for our first E3 conference of the year, where we'll be doing a watch-along along with our very good friends, Mr. Tassimanvir, who's in the chat, and Ben Ward from Next Gen Base. I imagine Ben will be writing stuff up so we can be able to post it over at Next Gen Base as well. I'm going to drop Next Gen Base's Twitter into the chat as well. I will put this in the video description below, so if you are watching this over at, on our YouTube, what's going on here? What is going on? I put Next Gen Bases. No wonder I can't find it. I will put this in the video description below as well. Please follow all these accounts because when their content goes live, so will ours. We will be ever changing over the next couple of days. So the schedule is in the chat. I will run through it briefly for you guys now. So we will be going live tonight on Ice Cream Uploads. Tomorrow we'll be on Asim's channel where Asim, Shogun and Nico will be going through the Ubisoft Forward event, which starts at 8 p.m. Sunday is the big one. Brace yourself. Get fueled up. Go and get your drinks. Get all the snacks that you could possibly find because we will be here for at least 6 hours. Over on various channels. So the Xbox and Bethesda conference will be live at 6 p.m. It will be live before then. It'll be like 5:45 on Ice Cream Uploads. We then move over to Asim's channel for the Square Enix event, which is at 8:15 BST. Again, it probably will be there from 8 p.m, which will be myself, Graham, Asim, and Nico. The PC Gaming Show will be over at Shogun Ash's channel, where myself, Graham, and Shogun will be going through the PC Gaming Show. I'm sure I've just said that. The Warner Brothers Gaming Show will be live as well on Shogun Ash's channel straight after the PC Gaming Show. I think it could be an 8 p.m. start, that one, so they could end up switching around. But again, it will be myself, Shogun, and Graham over on there. Monday is Take-Two and Capcom. The only time that we've got for that at the moment is 10:30, which is on Let's Go Nico's channel. It'll be myself, Asim, Nico, and Graham. So there'll be the 4 of us for that. And then we close out, potentially, there could be one on Wednesday, but we close out our E3 coverage on the Nintendo Direct Treehouse from 5 p.m. over on this channel with myself, Graham, and Shogun. So this is going to be a hell of 5 days. This is going to be mental. We are going to be covering as much as we potentially can while giving a nice little balance. So eventually, I mean, I don't think I've ever put this chair back. Like, does this chair go back? Does it go back? No. But you might see this game start to... this game. Oh, yeah, here we go. Is this the one? No, that's not the one either. Jesus Christ. I was trying to make my chair recline, but I can't do it. I don't know which button it is. I never made it do it before. But yeah, this chair may end up starting to recline because Sunday is going to be one hell of a fucking day. But yeah, that's it. All the notifications that you need. Make sure that our notifications are on. Shogun Ash's notifications are on. Asim Tanvir's notifications on. Ben Ward's notifications are on. Jordan Inix is in the chat's notifications are on. Because this, again, I can't understate this. This is going to be a hell of a next 5 days. So there's going to be a lot of content, a lot of chatter, a lot of just plain old tomfoolery over on these channels. So again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us so far this week for the scoop. But it's only going to get better from here. If I can do this really, really quick, that would be great, because I've just seen Tito drop our socials in there. But what I really want to do is post everybody else's as well, because I think that would be nice. I'm going to put this in the video description as well, so I'm probably going to copy and paste this so I don't have to do it again. But you guys have been absolute legends for joining us this week. I know that there's only been 4 shows because yesterday it's just been a hectic work week and Graham is pulling apart his studio as we speak. So you haven't seen much of us than you usually do. Where's Asim? Where is he? Where's Asim? There he is. Okay, so there's everybody else's stuff. That's just about to... Oh, God, I'm butchering this. I'll tell you what, I'll put it in just as we're starting to sign off anyway. But again, thank you very much to you guys. I could say if you want to help shape our show and stuff like that, but I'm fairly certain you're going to be hearing a lot more from us over the next couple of days. But do please make sure that you have put and notified all of these channels and Twitter accounts. Again, I've just got them made out. Right, okay. Yes, finally. There we go. Jesus Christ, that was hard work. But yeah, I mean, this has been the longest sign off in the world. Shogun says, "What a lineup! Oh, I'm bringing the Halo info with me, so keep it easy." But yeah, again, guys, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh wait, I think Precision described it as one of the most boring games he's ever played. What was that? Control. Yeah, probably. Maybe. Who knows? But that was his opinion. Yeah, it was Control, yeah. I mean, that is his opinion. We all have different opinions, which is beautiful, really, because I like games that he doesn't like, he likes games that I don't like. It is what it is. He plays a lot of Warzone. I can't fucking stand that game, but it is what it is. Anyway, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to do this for you this week. I've dragged this outro out longer than I well should have done, but please make sure that all the channels that I've posted in the chat, you go ahead, give the notifications, ring it on, follow them. We'll be giving you the content, everything that you need. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to everyone that's joined us in the chat. I very much appreciate it. There is 2 things that I want you to do. Usually Graham will be asking me this anyway, so I will conclude with it. First of all, I want you guys to look after yourselves. And second of all, please, always, stay frosty.